Today, we say goodbye to our family at the end of the family reunion and relocate from the Dolores, Colorado area over to the Valley of the Gods in the southeast corner of Utah. Along the way, we stop at Hovenweep National Monument where it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Needless to say, we didn't spend all day there like we did at Mesa Verde National Park in the last episode.
Hey, James. Good morning. Did you sleep well? Hey, how about you, Lydia?
Yeah.
You were up late.
I'm up early.
Yeah. Do you want to come up here? Not sure what that reaction is.
It is now 7:58 a.m. and the battery is at 72%. I got up earlier and it was actually at 70%, so it's already charged up 2%. The mini split was on all night, set to 67 degrees, and so right now it is 66 degrees inside and 70 degrees outside.
How did you sleep, Clara?
Quick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So short.
Something to note is we turned off these switches last night to stop the glare from these red lights, and so the water heater was off all night. So that is one reason why our energy consumption was less overnight. And right now the water heater is now back on. The fresh tank is showing a third remaining, and the gray and the black are showing 2/3 full. These are notoriously inaccurate, so that just gives you a really rough estimation of how much water we've used. I just filled up the freshwater tank with new water to see how much we used while we were here, and it's indicating, the meter's indicating that we used 22.3 gallons over the course of 3 days and 3 nights. As a point of reference, our water tank is 45 gallons. And that is more water consumption than is typical for us when we're normally camping, but because we have ample water here, I've just gone ahead and showered every day and just used more water than we would normally. After camping here for 3 nights and 3 days, we are packing up today and we are relocating. We're going to be going to southern Utah to the Valley of the Gods, just south Canyonlands, and we'll show you the journey along the way. This has been a great experience just camping here. We had a convenient spot next to the house here to park the trailer. We haven't been hooked up to the house in any way other than we took on some water when we first arrived, and we're about to take on some more water as we're departing just to have a full tank. And I set up the Starlink dish right here, and it's been working great in that spot. So let's go check out the Valley of the Gods.
I haven't caught.
That's terrifying.
We've stopped at the Tin Man Field that we visited last time we were here. It's kind of this fun roadside attraction here. This is this cool place that somebody has built that has endless sculptures out across this meadow. And there's a pond over there. We'll show you more of it. What do you think, girls? Is this cool?
Yeah, there's less Tin Mans than there were before.
Really? I think there's probably just as many.
Over on this side.
Oh, okay.
Way more overgrown, isn't it?
It is.
They took the goats out. Yeah, the gate said goats.
Yeah, I don't see any goats. We first discovered this place 3 years ago, and at that time they had goats roaming this area, which clearly helped to keep the undergrowth down. Unfortunately, they've apparently stopped grazing their goats here. We're stopped at this Maverick to dump our black and gray water tanks, and there's a lineup of people waiting. We're second in line right now, but we were third in line when we first got here, so it's going to be a bit of a wait. In the meantime, Jessica is making lunch for us since it's lunchtime in the trailer, and the kids are going to be eating lunch, and we're going to be doing all that while we're basically waiting and while we're dumping. So by the time we're done here dumping, we'll be done with lunch and we'll just jump on the road and head to the Valley of the Gods. All right, just finished filling up. We ended up getting $30.15 worth of gasoline at $3.36 per gallon. The drive to Hovenweep National Monument from Cortez, Colorado is about an hour long and about 45 miles through some very barren terrain, and there was very little traffic on this northern route that we drove. One of my sisters joined us for this part of the trip as she was on her way back to Utah. None of us have ever been to this far southeastern corner of Utah before. Hovenweep National Monument. We're just now arriving and we're gonna go check it out. Here in the trailer, just before embarking on our little hike, you can see it's 95.5 degrees inside the trailer and it's 102.2 degrees outside, which is rather hot, so we're not gonna hike a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the mini split, and I'm going to run it down to 64 degrees, and it won't probably get there, but it'll be as cool as it can get in here. Looking at the energy, it's currently at 56 watts, and that'll ramp up quite a bit as the trailer is cooling down. Conveniently, they do have 3 spots here for RVs, for long rigs. They also have some potable water, but only 5-gallon limit. It's not helpful enough to, say, fill a freshwater tank. This is the Hovenweep National Monument Visitor Center, and we're gonna go inside and check it out. What's where? Yeah, we're not gonna be exploring all of this, but we'll see what we can see. The girls are getting their passport stamps. There's some information up here. Looks like it's gonna be really hot. Well, it is really hot right now and dry, but they're saying tomorrow it's gonna be worse. And they have a little seating area here for movies, it looks like, available upon request.
Yet, across the Southwest, this was also the beginning of a time of strife, where the ancient Puebloans banding together for protection. Against whom?
Yes, I can vouch for this. It is very hot, and definitely water should be carried. Are you ready for this, kids? Are you ready for this 102-degree hike? Okay, so this is a map of the trail. And I have no idea how far we're going to get, but we are currently right here. And we're going to go down this trail, and then we're going to come along this way. And we're trying to get to Hovenweep Castle, which is a little bit less than a 1-mile round trip. So normally we can certainly do it, but considering the heat, I'm not so sure. Girls, can you imagine having to come along this desert in riding a horse or walking and having a horse-drawn buggy or a wagon without any resources nearby? Little Ruin Canyon. Stronghold House. And that is this house right here. Yeah, there's a structure straight across the way right there.
Look at that one way back there.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
There's like a cave
Yeah.
that's being held up by that big rock for the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of cool, huh?
All right, let's keep going before we lose our steam. Eroded Boulder House. I wonder how they came up with these names. I assume that they're talking about that one right there, but I'm not sure. But you can also see a structure right there, and then there's another one up here on the cliff edge. Oh, and you can see a couple more in this direction as well. We'll keep hiking and we'll see them as we go along. Hey girls, what's this to the left? Unit type house. What kind of a name is that? I guess that is what a unit type house is. What do you think unit type means?
That, obviously.
What do you think, James? Is that fun?
It's a type of unit, of course. It's interesting, isn't it, girls, that this is kind of a village? Like you see a bunch of different houses close to each other, huh?
The trail is very well marked here. We are now at an intersection. We are just going to go to the left down to the Tower Point Loop, and the main trail continues on to the right. But it's too hot, and that's going to take too long. So we're just going to see this and then head back to the truck. So right now we've gone about 0.3 miles, I think, from the visitor center. Hey, do you guys see any native children here? No? Okay.
And one right here.
Oh, you're one? You're a native child? You're a native Utahn, that's right. Oh, there's that native Utahn child that we saw in the bush. There's a sign here saying Hovenweep Castle, and so we'll go down that trail next. But first, there's a little bit of a ruin right here, and this is the closest we've been able to get to one so far on this trail. And you can see just past it to the left, there's a tower right over there across the canyon. And then there's a few other ruins over here farther to the left as well. We're finally arriving at the Hovenweep Castle, and we're gonna look at this real briefly, and then it's really hot, so we're gonna continue on our way. Looks like they have a book here with some information about it. So this photograph was taken in 1935, and then they talk about some other things. You can pause that if you want to read it. But we're gonna continue on because we're hot. Pretty cool. Signage here telling us where to go. Hovenweep Castle. All right, it is hot and we're all hot. So we're gonna head back to the truck now and have some popsicles in the air conditioning. Apparently here in the distance is the Sleeping Ute Mountain. We're back from the hike and the girls couldn't be happier about that fact. Was that the hottest hike you've ever done, girls? It most certainly was. It's a good thing that we had water, and now we're refilling our water bottles. And we're gonna go into the nice, hopefully cool trailer and have some popsicles. I'll put on the screen how long it's been since I was at the trailer showing the temperature. And so let's go in and see what the internal temperature is.
Oh my goodness.
All right, it's 75 degrees in here and it's 102.6 outside. The battery's still at 100%, of course, because the solar is just outputting enough to supply the mini splits, which is taking just over 900 watts. So Lydia, what do you have?
Mango.
Mango flavored popsicle.
It's the best kind.
Through the miracle of refrigeration, here in the desert, we have popsicles. What did you get, Lucy? Mango as well. And Clara,
Never had
what did you get?
Dad. Mango.
You got a mango popsicle, yeah!
Dad, Lucy's never had these things.
None of us have.
And I have.
Oh, have you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yay, popsicles for everybody! We are done with our popsicles and we're going to continue on to the Valley of the Gods. The temperature in here is 75.6 and outside it's 101. It bounces up and down between 102 and 101. And pretty much the stats are the same as they were before. So I'm going to turn off the mini split and we'll get on the road. Here's something noteworthy before we take off. I've never seen water come out of the drain hose of the mini split before, but as you can see, there is water actively dripping out right now. But it's evaporating quickly enough, it's not really expanding beyond that little circle. Just to give you an idea of when water is coming out, that's about how much it is. The drive to the Valley of the Gods east entrance is about a 1-hour drive west of the Hovenweep National Monument Visitor Center. There is a 7.1 mile shorter, more direct route called the Cajun Mesa Cutoff Road, which I turned down, then stopped right away because it's a gravel road and I'd rather take the longer route because it's paved. Google estimates the paved route is 5 minutes faster. This region of the United States is very sparsely populated and the geography is quite flat for a long way through the desert terrain. Hills just barely begin to undulate, then all of a sudden we were driving through canyons and clearly rocky desert terrain, and this repeated a couple of times. Look at this canyon we're descending into. We're coming right into the end of it.
Oh, I bet there's
Descending.
a tunnel.
It's at 8% grade. It's pretty cool. We pulled off the highway onto the gravel road to the Valley of the Gods. So we're gonna drive along this and find our campsite. As a side note, the truck is indicating 103 degrees outside right now, and it's been as high as 104. So when we find our campsite, we'll decide what we want to do at that point, but we're probably not going to be doing a whole lot of physical exertion until it cools down. There's a spot we could camp if we wanted to. Regarding the condition of this road, it's really not all that bad, but I guess that largely depends on your experience with roads like this. If you only ever tow your trailer on paved roads, then this may not be a good place for you. Although, as I pointed out, there are some campsites very near the highway. In our case, we drove 3 miles, which took us 23 minutes to drive. We had our pick of all campsites, which I imagine is due to the extreme heat. We never saw anybody else camped anywhere along the road, and that includes the driving that we do tomorrow exploring the area. There were many potential campsites that we passed, and later we saw many other sites farther along the road. But I liked where we stopped because it was next to Setting Hen Butte, which looked cool. I would not recommend taking long trailers farther than 7.5 miles in because there it got quite steep and uneven for a section. Or, of course, just scout it out first. This is the Setting Hen Butte, and that over there is the Rooster Butte. And we found this camp spot right here that I think will fit the bill for us and what we want. So we're gonna set up camp right here. Here in the trailer it is 98.8 degrees and outside it's 101.8. I'm turning on the mini split to 64 degrees Fahrenheit and we'll let the trailer get cooled down while we set up. So we've got dinner cooking here in the microwave at 350 degrees and it's on convection, so not microwave. And it's been already 15 minutes, we got 5 more minutes to go. And so we've run down the battery already to 95% between that and the mini split on maximum power. So we're getting 848 watts right now, and that is as many watts as we'll get at this location at this time of day. And our AC consumption is 1240 watts. And then down here I'm going to do a speed test on Starlink and see what speeds we're getting. So we're getting about 35 megabits per second download speed, which is very usable. I've seen faster, but since we're on the roaming plan right now, it's not going to be as fast as it used to be when we were on the standard residential. So yeah, we got 36 down and 11 up. If we run the advanced speed test, so it's showing better on the upload speed in that case. I guess we had just a little bit of cloud cover because now we're getting 1100, almost 1200 watts of solar, and right now it is 5:58 p.m. We're done warming up dinner, and now we're getting 1000 watts of solar and 1200 watts of consumption, which is almost entirely the mini split. So the mini split is still working hard to bring down the temperature. In here it's down to 83.3 degrees, and outside it's 99.5, and also it's currently 6:21 p.m. How's your dinner, girls? What is it?
Puppy's chicken.
Mmm, delicious. You girls have a great view out your window while you're eating dinner. Look at that. It's too hot outside to go exploring at the moment, so we're just watching a movie instead. The girls have been listening to the audiobooks of all the Indian in the Cupboard books, so they're really excited to watch this movie. It's now 8 p.m. and the battery's down to 71%, so it is getting hit pretty hard from the mini split at 1000 watts, and where solar is pretty much gone now. The temperature outside is still hot. It's 97.9 degrees out, but inside it's now 69.4. So that explains the energy pull down. And as it cools down outside, the amount of energy that the mini split is pulling will decrease, and we'll probably let the temperature go a little higher too at some point. The Victron monitoring portal app shows the time to go right here at 7.25 hours at this burn rate. So I will make adjustments as necessary to make sure the battery doesn't die during the night. It's now 9:30 p.m. and the battery is down to 60%, and the mini split is still pulling just over 500 watts. And to point out where the mini split is at, it's now down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit here inside the trailer, and outside it's now 86.9 degrees Fahrenheit. At this rate of burn down, the Victron app is estimating that the battery will last for 10 hours. So I think we'll be okay, and I don't need to make any other adjustments because the temperature outside is only going to drop throughout the night, and so we won't need to cut back on any power consumption. And I came out to check out the terrain now that the sun has set and it's not so crazy hot. And it's really beautiful around here, except for that heat, of course. So this is the Sitting Hen Butte, and that is the Rooster Butte over there. And right now I am filming a time lapse with my camera right there. And now I'll show you the time lapse that camera is recording.